Here we are. And in Texas, actually, my aunt was she's traveling right now, and they had a layover in Philadelphia, and she said that there was snow flurries. And so some of you may not be experiencing the balmy weather. Libby's outside enjoying the 70 degrees. This is the 1 month of the year in Texas where there's not mosquitoes yet because of the freeze, and it's not 100 degrees. So we are soaking it up as much as we can. But with that, all of the trees are blooming. Libby and I both have live oaks in our backyard. And so quickly they're shedding their leaves, and the pollen's going to come on in force in a little bit here.
Like yellow layer on all of our cars.
Everything is coated. Yeah. And I'm sure many of you experience this in other pollens, cedar pollens or pine pollens or just any other pollen, ragweed, all of those types of things. So this is just a really common time of year for us to be encountering seasonal discomfort, right? And, where we can, just like anything else in life, we want to see what we can figure out naturally, see what we can figure out first. And that's not to say there aren't places for you to go get the additional help from an ENT or whatever, and use the types of things that get prescribed to you. By all means, I mean, we're all trying to live our best lives, right? And if you can't think straight and then you're completely exhausted because your whole body is experiencing inflammation and that's your only solution, go for it. But we want to just give you some options of things that you can try first before you just jump into, because some of those things aren't, I mean, they're not, but some of the hard hitters like steroids and stuff can have bigger implications for other immune compromising type things like osteoarthritis or other things like that. So we want to approach things as much as we can from natural products or wellness things or supplements or oils and stuff that we can support our body, and try those things first before we just jump to what is traditionally going to be something that gets prescribed. So we're going to talk through, and I know some of this may not be unfamiliar for many of you, but some of it may be. And so I want to take you through some of the issues that we experience. Now, of course, we've all know about lemon, lavender, and peppermint. If you don't, that is known as it used to be called something else, but it's known as the seasonal discomfort trio. And these are kind of the tried and true thing that people swear by. You can, of course, because all three of these are vitality oils. These are oils that you could take internally. You can make capsules of these. You could have like maybe 2 drops of each of these in a capsule and take those when you're experiencing, a pollen issue. You could also create a roller ball and just roll it even on your cheeks or your forehead or on the back of your neck. Of course, lemon is photosensitive, so you want to just keep that in mind, but you could also put it on the bottom of your feet. And then you can also diffuse it. You could have this going overnight, or you could have this going while you're working or anything like that to help have that in the air, to be breathing these things in. Libby, do you want to show what you created there?
Yeah, I have been using that seasonal support blend for years, and something that I did just a few weeks ago, which I wish I had done sooner. I have one of these seasonal support, I won't show you the label, seasonal support blends in my purse. I have one in one of the kids' backpacks, and I have one on our oil shelf. So it's always ready to go. It's a roller top. But then just a couple weeks ago, because I was making the capsules and it was such a pain to get out, I put 4 things in it. I put lemon, peppermint, lavender, and I also put fennel in it as well. And I was getting out all 4 of those and lining them up, and I was taking this capsule every few hours. So what I did is I made a bomb of it. We talk about like diffuser bombs where you put it all in one, and I did this for a capsule. I call it a capsule bomb. So it's just concentrate. It's no carrier oil or anything. And then that way I can just take it and fill a capsule with it and pop it. And it's just, I mean, it's almost instant relief. Like as soon as that peppermint kind of hits your system, it just kind of opens up your
Yeah.
supports opens up your sinuses. So
Gives you
I
that.
highly recommend that. Yeah.
Yeah. That's great. Yeah, thanks. And that what you kind of mentioned there about how you've added fennel, that's something we've been doing at our house too, because if you actually look this up, they're high on the list of higher than lemon, lavender, or peppermint on the list of considerations of oils is fennel and eucalyptus blue. So maybe add that fennel. And so I'm listing all of these oils here for you so that you can see. So maybe you've tried lemon, lavender, peppermint, and it isn't really panning out as good as you had hoped, or maybe you're not seeing the support. Mix and match some of these different oils and try, because again, we're not all carbon copies of one another's. While the oils all have these properties and these constituents that work together for our good, in the end, your body might need something or some sort of support that my body doesn't. And so fennel is a great one to add to that trio. It also is a vitality oil, so one that is safe to generally regarded as safe for internal consumption. So then eucalyptus blue, Roman chamomile, German chamomile, marjoram, frankincense, digize and harmony are the two highest blends. And that makes sense when you think about fennel being in there. So think
Is
about using
eucalyptus
those.
a vitality, or can you take that in turn?
Some, well, yeah, some
It's on
eucalyptus
the
are,
FDA's
some, the
general.
eucalyptus radiata are one is, and yeah, you can look this up. You can go to, you can find this on, I think, I'm trying to think, you can certainly find it in your desk reference, but you can also just type into Google essential oils generally regarded as safe, or food additive essential oils generally regarded as safe. And the FDA will publish the types of oils. So if you want to, you can even look that up. Again, we are very exclusively talking about Young Living oils, of course, anytime we're talking about internal use.
So how does it, with frankincense? So that's the one I think of when I think of somebody having like a reaction to something, almost like my first defense before I do like a Benadryl. Not that I'm saying it substitutes Benadryl, but like you want to like try that first, and I rub it on inside her cheek. Mm-hmm. I wonder why that one's not in the seasonal support like right away. That's what you first think of. Is it maybe?
Well, I mean, I mean, some of like lemon isn't even listed in the desk reference. Interestingly, it's just something that it's something that I think we've anecdotally passed down to one another. But the order of oil, and I actually, there's one here that I forgot to add to this slide, the oil ranking, because in your desk reference, as they list the oils, that's the preference of how much it could help. Fennel, eucalyptus blue, lavender, acacia, Roman chamomile, peppermint, German chamomile, marjoram, sacred frankincense. Those are the only singles listed. So lemon's not even in that. We know lemon has some of these properties that we're looking for, but it's just interesting to think about the thing that we have passed on to one another. Also, try something different. Try one of these oils and see if you get a better response. Maybe it's a particular type of pollen or a particular type of response you're getting, and that helps support your body in a different way than these other oils would. So just pique your curiosity on this and think about, this even can change up your diffuser blend, maybe what you're going to put in your diffuser blend, or what you're going to put in your roller ball, once you figure out kind of what your sweet spot is for that. Now, I also wanted to talk products, and we talked a little bit about Allerzyme when we talked about our digestive enzymes. So these are some Young Living products to consider that can help you. Allerzyme contains bromelain, which is an enzyme found in papaya and pineapple. And natural healers consider bromelain to be effective at improving breathing. And so that's where Allerzyme has this strong enzyme in it that's a derivative that many people use for these types of things. So Allerzyme would be a really great supplement to add. And in fact, I've heard some people say they actually have much better support for this by using Allerzyme than using the seasonal discomfort trio. So a daily take of Allerzyme would be a good start. Vitamin C. So we have our Super C vitamin that would be good. Practitioners of natural medication also think that about 2,000 milligrams of vitamin C daily can help reduce histamine levels. And so that you can just look up there's many people who swear by this too. You can look up vitamin C and allergy effectiveness. And you can see studies that have been published about that. So Super C is a great place to find that. If you don't have a vitamin C that you really love, maybe look into that. Another good probiotics, we have the Life 9, which is the capsule, or the Mighty Pro, which is designed for kids. But a 2015 review of 23 studies indicated that probiotics may help improve symptoms of people who are experiencing seasonal discomfort. And so you can kind of look over that and maybe make sure we're always wanting to look at our gut health, right? That's a great place to start. So getting a probiotic, if you are really, really impacted by allergies and pollen and things like that in the air, and it's debilitating to you, but you really want to pursue a natural option, you can even, there are certain strains of probiotic that you would want to be incorporating into your body. And you probably want to do a deeper dive with that with either a natural medicine practitioner or homeopath, or just any holistic doctor, or even a dietitian who could help you kind of closely examine which strain of probiotic would be really helpful and beneficial to you. So that, just throwing that out there as a consideration. The multigreens. So multigreens have spirulina, alfalfa sprouts, barley grass, bee pollen, kelp, some other things to help support overall health and well-being. And has Melissa essential oil in it too, to make it those things more bioavailable. But a 2015 study showed that a dietary spirulina, which is a blue-green algae, so that's in multigreens, demonstrated protective effects towards seasonal discomfort. Also, bee pollen that's in this, I just did, just do a quick Google search of bee pollen plus allergy support, and you'll see a lot of people have had good experiences using bee pollen to help support their body to do well with the seasonal changes. And the last one I'll throw out there is Thieves Chest Rub, and this is it's 100% plant-based. We've talked about this a bunch. It's over-the-counter for cough and congestion relief. And those are things that we can actually say we don't have because they've gone through the FDA process of testing. It's able to temporarily relieve irritations of the common cold and support healthy breathing, all while suppressing cough. And it has the really nice hands-free application. So that's a really good one for people who, in my house, we've used it when somebody says they have a scratchy throat, or when we've had smoke, when we've driven and had wildfires or bad air quality, we go to Thieves Chest Rub to help open up and help us to breathe better and support our body's natural desire to want to heal itself, and as it's breathing not so great air. I want to throw out, so those are our young living things. I just want to throw out a few other wellness options that you could be considering here. Daily nasal irrigation. We've talked about this. This is one that I would love to harp on you over and over again about, is the importance of doing this. There are 10 studies, a 2012 review of 10 studies showed that the saline nasal irrigation had beneficial effects for both children and adults with allergic rhinitis, which is often referred to as hay fever. So if you or someone, or one of your kids has a real problem with this, daily using irrigation, that nasal irrigation with saline is super, or saline nasal. So the salts that you buy with it, or that maybe come in a little packet. One consideration is maybe even adding a drop of oil to those salts. And you could go back and even consider some of the oils I mentioned, or rosemary is really good, or tea tree is really good, or lavender would be one to consider maybe. Consider adding those to your neti pot for a boost. Now, remember, when you do that, you want to make sure you have a ceramic or stainless steel neti pot. Do not mix oils and plastic. We had a whole class when we talked about sinus support on how to do your neti pot. So I'm going to leave you to go check that out. If you need help finding it, we can get that for you. Just let us know. Quercetin is a really great natural healing that helps stabilize the release of histamines. and to control allergy symptoms. Naturally, it's found in broccoli, cauliflower, green tea, and citrus fruits, but you can also buy it in supplement form. In fact, decades, 15 years ago, my husband happened to be on a flight where he was sitting next to a guy who was working for the Defense Research, DARPA and he was doing a deep dive in quercetin, and he's like, hey, there are only 3 supplements that anybody in their whole life needs to ever take, and for him it was vitamin D, quercetin, however you want to say it, and vitamin D, quercetin, and vitamin C. He was like, that's it, those 3 things. So quercetin is also really helpful and advantageous against the thing that has been plaguing us for the last 2 years. They've found some really beneficial things in that. That's what's in the tonic water that people that are, whatever. So think about that as an addition. Local honey, there's not really a lot of scientific evidence to prove this, but there's popular anecdotal ideas that suggest that eating locally and even hyper local honey will help lower and reduce your overall interaction with pollen, because the bees are collecting it and that's exposing your immune system to it on a low level that it can handle it. So there's not a lot of science to support it, but it's worth a consideration. Maybe you could see a difference, especially if there's a particular thing that's blooming in season in your area. Go find a farmer's market and find a local bee, help save the bees, right? Like, we want to do that any chance we can. Another consideration is acupuncture. Positive results for people who have pursued it and for this reason. And of course, air filter for indoors. Consider using an air filter that is a high efficiency particulate air, so HEPA filters. And they help kind of obviously trap those earborne irritants, pollen, dust, pet dander, all those things. Because obviously, like, the best way to prevent allergies or any sort of histamine response is to eliminate the thing that's causing you to have that, right? Like, that's number one. So an air filter in an indoor environment or in the room that you sleep in or something like that, you might find some benefit from there. So those are just some overview. Maybe pick 1 or 2 of those things, start incorporating that into your daily practice or into a regular practice of yours. Try out some of those different oils, try some different diffuser recipes, identifying more than just lemon, lavender, and peppermint, broaden your horizons, and see if there's anything else out there that might help you. Libby, is there any last minute tips or tricks that you want to share? Anything I've left out?
Yeah, I mean, since you so kindly and humbly did the video on the neti pot,
I did.
bless you for doing that. I got a ceramic one finally because I was excited to use. I have done lavender and I did rosemary. I like rosemary a lot. So I've been doing this. I was having really bad allergies a couple weeks ago, and I can't tell you just how loose it makes everything. Like when you just feel like a faucet and you just blow and blow and you don't feel like it ever can fully come out. Doing it a few times a day, it just loosens it and allows it all to come out. And then also right after I do the neti pot, blow my nose, get everything out. I've said this many times before, but put a drop of lavender on a Q-tip and just kind of swirl it around in each nostril. And it just kind of opens you up even more.
Yeah.
My 10-year-old son loves that as well. He asks for that quite often.
Yeah, that's great. And that's a really handy tip, even for any time that you're having nose issues. So, okay, well, I hope this has been helpful. Next Monday, we'll be doing our whatever the new April promos are, the free gifts with promotion. And then the following Monday, we're going to highlight the spring launch. So there's going to be a spring launch on April 9th. You can check. Last year was really big and really noteworthy. There was some great stuff that was released. So if you want to watch it live, that's going to be happening Saturday, April 9th. You can preview all of the products on April 7th on Young Living's website and kind of have a sense of what you might want to purchase. But none of those purchases will be able to be live until April 9th when they do the launch right there. So we'll talk through that on April 11th. So you'll have a good sense. If you missed the live broadcast, we'll catch you up on what exactly went on. But hope you have a great Monday. Hope the pollen isn't keeping you two down, and we will talk with you soon.